Hey everybody, this is Adam from Century Per Week, and I haven't uploaded a video for quite a while now, and the reason behind that is that I broke my collarbone, so I haven't been able to ride outdoors. It's been over a month now. So I'm out here on a hike, which isn't quite the same, but it does get me outside in the sun. So anyway, it was on August 28th, I believe, the last Monday of August, and on a mountain bike ride. I hadn't ridden my mountain bike all year. I just got, just got the mountain bike up, got my tire set up and everything, and I was pretty eager to get out on a mountain bike ride because it had been a while, and I just recently found a new road to ride on. So I was like, this is going to be cool. I'll go out there, check it out. Wasn't much of a long ride. I think it was like, I don't know, maybe 12 miles or something. And obviously it had been a while, so I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was going really slow the whole time just to be careful. And I was only like a half mile away from the finish. I could basically see the road from where I was, and it was on this dirt road, and there was a car coming towards me from the opposite direction. And I think I've kind of focused on that car too much, trying to make sure that it saw me and didn't hit me. And honestly, I don't really know what happened. And that's not because I hit my head and blacked out or anything. It's just because I guess maybe I'm in denial of what happened because it was such a dumb crash. What ended up happening was, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I know that I was on the brakes a little bit, and I think what happened most likely is that I just hit the brakes too hard, and I ended up going over the front handlebars, landing on my right side, and obviously mostly on the right shoulder, a little bit on the right arm and hip too. But yeah, snapped my collarbone. I could tell right away that I broke it because number one, I heard it. Number two, I was trying to move my arm a little bit and it felt crunchy in there. And number three, I just went ahead and took a little feel of my collarbone area, and you could actually feel it sticking out. It didn't pierce the skin or anything, but you could definitely feel that it was broken. So yeah, I mean, it didn't hurt that much at first, but at the same time I couldn't really stand up. And I guess the car that passed me didn't notice that I flipped over my handlebars and crashed. And there was actually, I was kind of close to the intersection of one road and another, a little dirt road and a parking area. And there were some people over here, like maybe, I don't know, maybe like 100 yards away. I could see them. I guess maybe they weren't paying attention or didn't notice what I was doing. Maybe they just thought I was sitting there taking a break, but they didn't see me. So I guess I'm pretty lucky that I actually had service there. I didn't have cell service for a lot of that ride, so I was able to phone a friend, and luckily she was able to come get me, and I didn't have to ride in an ambulance, so that saved me some money and, you know, a little bit of embarrassment. But I mean, there was plenty of embarrassment to go around. Like I said, I'm not really sure exactly what happened. I've got some different theories. Like, most likely is that it just hit the front brake too hard and went over the handlebars because it was a downhill. Another option is that I was so focused on the car that I actually hit a rock. But I don't know, it wasn't that gnarly of a road, and I don't think there were that many big rocks in the middle of it, so that's probably not as likely. Another thing, I was thinking that maybe I was braking, and then if I hit a bump and I was sort of braking in midair and then hit the ground with my front brake locked, maybe that would have caused me to go over the handlebars. So either way, dumb mistake on my part. My first mountain bike ride in a while. I was trying to go slow, take it easy, but I guess it doesn't really matter. If you're an idiot and do something stupid, you end up crashing. So that's what I did. Broke my collarbone, and yeah, I went to the ER. It was pretty clear that it was broken. Got an x-ray. And yeah, it was displaced pretty well. At least in my mind it was. So first thing I thought was that, yeah, I'm gonna end up having surgery for sure. But the ER, the PA and the ER came through. He told me, you know, that it didn't need surgery and basically get out of here. So that was that, and I was not pleased with that at all. Like I didn't believe it, and also he'd never even gave me a referral to ortho, so that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And yeah, so I just went on the process of sort of taking care of everything myself. I called ortho. It took me a few days to get an appointment with them, and then I had my appointment with the ortho doc, and he basically told me that it was kind of a borderline case. He didn't really have a definite opinion one way or the other. He said it could kind of go either way. I was sort of on the border of what needs surgery and what doesn't. And from what I've read, I could be wrong, I'm not great with numbers, but I think that the cutoff is usually 2.5 centimeters of displacement, and mine was, I think, around 1.5. So you know, really it could go without surgery, but I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me from the start that it was going to be able to heal on its own. And the main thing that was concerning me was that you could see it happen on my right shoulder. You could see the difference between my left shoulder and my right shoulder. Like, my right shoulder had dropped quite a bit, and that makes sense based on the injury. Like, here's your collarbone, right, and your humerus would be right here. So if it snaps in the middle, that part falls down, your humerus falls down too. So that makes sense. And I wasn't sure how much was it going to stay that way, because obviously my body's all tense, and I thought maybe I was kind of holding my arm down more than I would once it got healed. And once it started to heal and the bones started to fuse, would it sort of straighten out a little bit better? I didn't know, and I asked the doctor, and he really didn't have an answer for me. Like, I don't even know if he understood what I was asking him, and I asked like 3 different times, tried to ask in different ways, like, is this asymmetry I have, is this, you know, is this going to be like this forever, or is this partially because of the injury and it's going to fix itself a little bit? And he didn't really have an answer for me, and I didn't really care, like, you know, that if I'm going to have a lump on my collarbone, that's fine. That didn't worry me. I didn't care if I was a little bit asymmetrical from it. That didn't bother me, but it was so bad and noticeable that, like, in my mind, we're symmetrical for a reason, right? If I had this big asymmetry in my right side, is that going to stop me from, you know, a lot of these lifts that I want to do? And it's kind of going to hold me back in the future. That was my main concern. But he said it was up to me. I could schedule surgery if I wanted to. So I went ahead and scheduled, and so I could just do some more research and maybe cancel it later if I needed to, because the first surgery date was only 10 days after my injury, and I was like, damn, that sounds like a long time. Like, that's sort of the worst of both worlds, because I will have already started to heal the natural way, and then I have to start back at 0 again. So I kind of, you know, I was mad about the whole thing, and probably too much, a little bit counterproductive on my part, but you know, I just let it go, and I was like, I'll just wait and see what happens. And the first, I don't know, like 5 days were pretty bad, and you know, everything hurt. I was still mad, and I just felt like surgery was definitely the way to go. But then as I got closer to like the weak point, I mean, meaning a week from the injury, the pain started to go away, and really I was getting my movement back like pretty quickly, faster than I thought. And you know, I started to lean towards, okay, I'm not going to do surgery because I've already started to heal. I'll be 10 days in, and you know, if I get surgery, then it's going to take me 10 days extra on top of whatever to get back to normal. And I was like, you know, it feels better. And I started to get the feeling that as I continued to heal, that asymmetry would sort of fix itself a little bit. Never to be perfect, but to be, you know, acceptable. But I think it was either, I don't know if it was a day before or 2 days before, I got an order for an x-ray, and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna get an x-ray. Mostly, really what I was trying to do was to convince myself that everything was good and I can continue without surgery. And so just get the x-ray, sort of to ease my mind that I was doing the right thing. But what happened, I got the x-ray and it was even more displaced than it was before. And I don't know when that happened. I don't know if it's because I probably wasn't using the sling as much as I should have been, but my theory was I'm going to do whatever feels, you know, within reason, because I wasn't on pain meds. So if it hurt, I wasn't going to do it. But if it felt all right, I was going to use it. So I don't know if that's what did it, or maybe most of that happened on the first day between when I got the x-ray and you know, when I went home. But it was more displaced, and it was pretty close to that 2.5 centimeter mark. So that was it for the natural healing part of it. I was like, that's it, I got to get the surgery. Surgery was obviously no big deal because I was out of it. Woke up. Those first few days are pretty painful, but I'm not a fan of pain meds, so if you take your meds, it's probably not too bad. And really the main thing that was bothering me was I didn't have sutures. I had, whoa, that was soft. I didn't have sutures. I had steri strips on there, and they were kind of irritating me and pulling on my skin. That was the worst part of it all, and I couldn't take them off because that's what was holding the incision together. So once those were gone, felt pretty good. I've been very, very cautious with the rehab. I wore the sling, you know, as long as they told me to, and I haven't been lifting anything heavier than a pound. I haven't lifted my arm above my head. I'm being very, very careful to make sure that my bone is fully healed before I start doing anything, because you know, I've already been off the bike this long. I don't want to do something stupid and have to have surgery again. So I've really been taking it easy, but the great thing about collarbones is you can still ride the trainer. So I've been riding the trainer, which, you know, under normal circumstances, riding the trainer sucks. But if it's between that and not doing anything at all, I'll take it. So I've been riding the trainer. You know, like today I'm out here on a hike, which, you know, it's not the same as riding a bike, but it gets you out here doing something, so it's pretty good. And it rained recently, so there's water out here. It's pretty cool. But so it's been a month since surgery. I have another x-ray in 2 more weeks, and hopefully everything still looks good. Hardware's in place, and hopefully, you know, the bone is starting to fuse together as it should. So I've read a lot of different protocols on PT, and I've sort of mixed them all together to decide how much I should be doing And like I said, I've sort of been on the conservative side of everything just to be sure, because I'm not going to PT, and I definitely want to make sure that I'm healed before I start lifting again. So that's my main thing. I have lost I mean, I never had much mass to begin with, but I've lost, you know, it's only been a month plus 10 days and I've lost a lot of upper body mass, so that pretty much sucks. And it's going to be a while before I can bench press again, because that's one of the last things they say you can do. So just waiting. Hopefully when I go in for my next x-ray, I'll see if it's a good idea to ride outside yet. But same thing, I'm not in a rush to ride outdoors before I'm ready, because I definitely don't want to crash on it again. And I don't want to do anything stupid to set me back even further. And I've already failed my goal of riding a century every week, and I'm going to fail my mileage goal. I'm going to fail pretty much every goal this year. So it's already, you know, damage is done. Let it be done. It's going to take me a while to get back to top shape. So, you know, what's a few more weeks of taking it easy just to be sure, because I'm already in bad shape. But I can ride on the trainer, you know, enough to be in, you know, reasonable shape to where I'm not going to get fat or something. So it's basically good enough for now, and I'm going to take it really easy. But definitely I should be back on the bike by the beginning of next year. Probably by the end of this month I'll be back on the bike outdoors. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And like I said, I don't know what this means for next year. Originally I wanted to finish my century per week this year, and I was going to stop doing it next year to sort of, I wonder what it looks like up here, to pursue other goals, I guess. I want to run a marathon. That's one goal I have in mind, and I just want to see if, this is pretty cool, I just want to see if not doing that long ride every week and just doing more shorter intense rides can be a benefit to me, to sort of, I don't know, make me faster, if it's even possible at this point. So I just, you know, I just want to see what it's like to not have to do that for a while. And like I say, the same old routes over and over, they do kind of get old. So I just wanted to recharge or refresh my batteries, but the injury in and of itself is kind of doing that for me anyway. I gotta go back because I can't use my arm over there. So I don't know, that's something I'm going to decide probably in December. So stay tuned for that. I'm not sure how many more videos I'm going to make this year. Definitely once I'm out riding again, I'll make some. But before then, I'm not too sure. So thanks for watching as much as you have. I'm sorry I haven't put out many videos recently. I'm sorry that I failed this year. And I hope that you guys stay safe out there. I thought I was being safe, but it only takes one dumb mistake and you can go down. And when you go down, bad things can happen. Really, I was pretty lucky. I was lucky that I was within cell phone service. I was lucky that, you know, that I didn't hit my head or something like that. I was lucky that it wasn't worse than it was. On one of my x-ray reports, it did say that I had probable multiple rib fractures, and I did have some rib pain for a few weeks, so maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but there's really nothing you can do about a rib fracture, so I didn't get rib x-rays. So how many bones have I broken in my life? Can't say for sure, but at least 2. My collarbone and my hip. And it's the right collarbone and the left hip. So before I used to think, okay, if I'm going to crash, I want to crash on my right side. Now, if I'm going to crash, I don't know what to do. Maybe I should just fall on my face. This is pretty cool out here. I have not made it this far before. That's all for today. I'll see you when I see you.